Juggernaut.
Well, it's gonna be a Juggernaut.
Yeah, no stun on the carry, so I guess the idea for an AA isn't that good any longer, but I like the Juggernaut. The Spirit, the game I mentioned, they played against the Alchemist, they went for a Jugger. Jugger is a hero that can stay in the lane for long. Juggernaut, CK, the Lifestealer, and not really think about if you're gonna die or not. Obviously in this game, once the Sand King gets the Blink stun into a Sharpshooter and he's gonna be able to die, but there needs to be some time until that happens. So while Mirana is being annoying to the Alchemist, while the Beastmaster is pressuring the tower, the Juggernaut is just farming and pushing in his own lane, not allowing the enemies to open up the map further for the Alchemist. So I'm liking this. It's a pretty decent pick, and even later on in the game, the Beast and the Juggernaut might have enough damage to deal with a fully farmed Alchemist.
Yeah, and Team Empire here thinking that it is going to be the support Winter Wyvern and not the mid lane Winter Wyvern, as they do ban out the Ember Spirit, the Invoker goes there as well, Necrophos being taken away. Empire, though, they take away the Razor from this, so that hero is pretty popular at the minute. Obviously, it's a very good, I want to say anti-carry, not, well, it is a carry in itself, but, you know, just being able to take away the damage from the Juggernaut, turn it back on itself, and just deny the Juggernaut actual impact in the fights, or even if you catch out the Beastmaster, the Winter Wyvern, or any of the cores, you know, just being able to turn their power back on themselves. Meanwhile, Empire, what is it they want to pick up to complete this lineup? They ban out the CK as well, so maybe thinking that it was going to be, I mean, you still won't see the offlane Alchemist from time to time. Do you think this is going to be, just looking at the lineup here now, maybe the mid Sand King coming out for Cybercats?
Oh no, I don't think so. Only if they are really afraid of the Juggernaut, but then you're not gonna lane the Alk there. They go for a Slark. I was thinking about which Shigetsu heroes are left, and yeah, Slark is there, but you're laning against the Beastmaster, you don't like that. Sure, you have the Jakiro, but you definitely don't like it. You're playing against the Winter Wyvern. I think there is no reason for Team Empire not to play this Wyvern mid. The only question is if they want to, right? If SquadX feels if he feels confident enough taking that hero. But this is looking like a amazing mid lane Wyvern game. To be honest, it's a free mid lane Wyvern game, so I'm cheering for it because it is a very fun hero to watch in competitive Dota.
Yeah, and it does seem to be built on a little bit more. It's becoming popular, so I am interested to see whether that's what they want to go for. I still like the AA pick. Personally, in my scrub opinion, now there's Slarks here as well. Anytime he goes into the Shadow Dance, you know, if you can get that Ice Blast off onto the Alchemist, the Slark at the beginning of the fights, you know, stop that regen from kicking in. Go for the Zeus.
Team's all set.
Okay.
Who's it gonna be?
So it's gonna be the Squad X Zeus. Okay.
Ooh, we don't like you, Empire. We wanted to see a mid lane Wyvern Zeus. Quite solid. The same thing, Wyvern, not a lot of things that can catch him, though Slark is pretty decent at catching the Zeus, I'd say. And when it comes to building 4-staffs, none of the people on the side of Team Empire want to get it super early on. I see a few problems with the Empire lineup now. Other than the Mirana, you don't have anything to invade the Alchemist jungle. The Beastmaster isn't going to have that much of a good time in the lane. Sure, you have the burst potential to just crush a hero, which is fine, which is something we wanted to see with the AA. With the Zeus, we kind of get the similar thing. Alchemist, if he gets hurt, he's probably gonna die. But on the other hand, if cybercats are running at Team Empire now, and I think they're gonna be able to do it, it's gonna create the space for the Alchemist. So I think that's how this game is probably gonna look, with cybercats being super aggressive with the other 4 of their heroes. We know Shigetsu likes to do it. Especially if he gets a good lane, and against the Beastmaster with his Jakiro, it is going to happen.
Okay, well, we'll see how this is going to go here. Cybercats versus Team Empire. I think the Alchemist, I think he's going to be an X Factor. I think he's going to be able to run away with this game. Sand King is a nice core to watch. You're focusing the offlane as well, taking it back to its roots. Jakiro, again, I've already talked about the push potential from the Jakiro, the D push that comes up against the Beastmaster as well. So I am kind of leaning towards the Cybercats here. And Shigetsu, I think every time we've seen him on the Slark, you know, he's really impressed on it as well. I'm just trying to think who else we saw him playing against, but he always seems to have an impact on this hero.
He plays these in-your-face heroes really well. We're seeing the Weaver being banned out. I was like thinking in this game, oh, finally we get smart people who are banning out the Dawnbreaker. They don't want to deal with it, especially in Division 2. In Division 1, I can assume the teams have better coordination, so sometimes you're okay dealing with the hero. But in Division 2, I think the smart move is to ban that hero. And I was looking, Dawnbreaker has 70% win rate in Division 2, and I was like, is there any hero that has been picked up more than 5 times that is even close? And the Weaver actually has 71% win rate, so Shigetsu has really upped the win rate of that hero. But these heroes where he runs in your face, when he is constantly trying to survive whilst doing some damage, that is the way that he likes to play Dota, and he does it well. So obviously with Slark fitting into that role, he's going to be doing a good job.
Well, Jesu has something to say about the pauses, as we do have, you know, it wouldn't be Dota, it wouldn't be Eastern European Dota without the pause to start off the game, so we are going to be taking a couple of minutes. Hopefully it won't be too long before we get into this, and the tips are going to start to come out. Looking through, I mean, for the rest of the league, the impact that it has, we talked about it briefly, but if we look at the actual table itself here, cybercats, they want to be taking this game because they want to, again, they want to be looking to qualify up against Hellraisers for that second position, because Nemiga now at 5-1, you know, they've got themselves X3 left to play against. Yeah, okay, they looked impressive this morning, so I mean, if X3 win that as well, we could be seeing a 3-way tie at the top, potentially. You know, so it is going to have a massive impact, this game, on not only Empire standing in the league, but cybercats as well. So cybercats are going to be putting in maximum effort into this series to try and get as high up that table as possible.
I have to say cybercats dropped the ball losing the series against X3. Doesn't matter that X3 is playing well. They show their weaknesses, and you could have exploited them. You could have shut down Shergaret in that series. You didn't, and you got punished. So I think with that loss against X3, that their chances of going further are quite slim. Sure, there are chances, but we always assumed that against Hellraisers they're not going to be doing too well. Obviously, this series should be in the bag, and the X3 one should have been in the bag as well. Still, of course, as you said, they're gonna be attempting to go further. There is still a chance. You have to think that you have a chance to beat the side of Hellraisers. So you have to be working towards that goal.
Yeah, and you talked about it as well, the Slark can get on top of the Zeus, you know, and with the pounce as well, it's going to make this heavenly jump pretty much useless until that pounce wears off. You know, how quickly do you think you know, how much survivability is this that Zeus going to build? Do you think it's going to be straight into the Ags, or do you think he's going to go for the Kaya and Sanj for a little bit more survivability here on Squadix? But, you know, what does Zeus want to be building into to kind of survive through the rotation of that Slark coming into the mid to the late game, do you think?
It's a hard one to say. Usually we see Sanj and Kaya Shard being the play for the Zeus. Considering that he has vision in this game, I wouldn't mind seeing the Ether Lens as well. We see that from time to time, Ether Lens Shard into a Ags, and then the Zeus just stays farther behind. I'd be okay with that as well. I think it's one of the two, to be honest. But I don't think there's gonna be much experimentation with the items. Going for something like a Force Staff isn't gonna work too well for you, because you can still die to the Sand King stun and the Sharpshooter. So I guess we're gonna be seeing something normal from the Zeus.
Well, we'll keep an eye on what Squadix is building here as well, because he's going to be up against Igor in the mid lane. Igor already got that 1 point into the Greevil's Greed, as well as the Acid Spray, so he's going to be looking for that Hyper Farm as well, which should give Zeus a little bit of space to look for the rotations and look for the gank potentials. Meanwhile, on the top lane, James is going to be taking a dual breath to the face. H2O taking some return harass now as well. James, he's going to be using one of his branches and the Tango to get that regen in. Shigetsu, how's he looking in terms of what he wants to be going towards? In fact, he's only going to be only level 1, so he only has the Essence Shift. They're not going to be able to lock down James. James will be able to walk himself away here from Shigetsu. But Shigetsu, he's going to be finding the farm, you know, 4-1 off that first couple of waves, and Sashlos wants to be stepping in with the axes. Again, no boar to come through just yet. We saw that this morning as well, where the Beastmaster, I think it was about level 3, level 4 before he got the first point in the boar up.
Yeah, I don't think you even have to get them in this one. And unless you want to have it for the push later on. To be honest, James has done a good job in this lane, just constantly spamming the arrows, pushing in the lane. They got the lane into a tower really early on, and then it was just easy from there. So really nice plays coming out from them in the top lane. Empire, they secured themselves a nice start. The question is, are they gonna continue that way? Because cybercats now with being level 2, they can possibly be very, very aggressive on the side of Shachlo.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to move themselves away here. Shigetsu just playing it underneath the tower. He just wants to be looking for the farm. The arrow is out from James, so he can use that, but it looks like H2O just took it point blank in the tree section. And Sasha, yeah, the liquefy just keeps going out to the Mirage as well. So the Mirage is going to be taking a lot of harass, it looks like, coming through from H2O. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, we can see that Phasor, he's moving around. Where are the ward blocks coming through? It was dewarded, it looks like, actually, from that sentry. DK Focus needs to move himself away from the Arctic Burn, as James will pick up H2O's courier back on the top lane. Does he get anything more out of this? No, he's going to be backing himself away, yeah. And on the bottom lane, how does DK Focus want to build? Because he's already got the 1 point into the Burrow Strike Cup. He's got a point into the Caustic Finale. Is it then going to be the Sandstorm after that, you know, for extra farm to try and disrupt onto Jessu? Or does Jessu really not care about the Sandstorm?
He doesn't care, but it's still gonna be the build for the Sand King, because with this you can maybe farm a few stacks. The main goal for the Sand King is to get boots, maybe one bracer into a blink, so you want that blink as fast as possible. Meanwhile, top lane, Shigetsu is getting quite low. Empire are playing this lane really, really well. I'm liking what James is doing, just nicely running circles around his enemies and providing a really nice lane for the Beastmaster, whilst also harassing the Slark quite a lot. You can see the Slark wanted to get the boots early on, and Shachlo, I mean, it is a Beastmaster, so this is the time where he could be in trouble, actually.
Yeah, in fact, well, the leap's going to come through. That's going to be the first blood going the way of James. Does pick that up onto H2O. The damage he gets is going to be able to get himself away. Level 3. So he just needs to back himself off and be careful. You know, he doesn't want to be putting the Dark Pack or the Pounce on cooldown to get himself away from this. But James, he wants to carry on. He's got that arrow in a second here as well. So Shigetsu, again, just needs to back himself away. He's going to be underneath the tower, which should be alright in terms of just keeping himself safe. Yeah, there's even going to be Self brought in. Just brought in from H2O to get himself back to full health here on Shigetsu. James, though, he did pick up that first blood. Going to be going for that first item earn as well. I do like the Spirit Vessel coming out onto the
bottom lane.
Marana. I think he'll be able to do the damage to take down this Juggernaut. Jessu trying to get himself away. The Splinter Blast will be used, and DK Focus has to be careful as well. Just have that Tango in his backpack. Going to be the Bracer for the extra regen as well. So I can't say he'll be fine, not at 200 health, but he's got a lot of regen coming through here, so he's going to get up to a decent amount of health.
For sure. The big win for the cybercat side is that Alchemist is getting a lot. But overall, the lanes aren't looking the greatest for the side of cybercats. The Slark isn't doing well, so this hero needs a really good lane, even in normal games, just to be able to constantly be in the enemy's faces and threaten them. And with that threat, you're actually allowing yourself to farm aggressively and not really be bothered too much. When you have an Alchemist, you have to do it, but his laning phase didn't go well. Though they do jump James.
Top lane, he is going to go down, and Shigetsu picks up that kill, so he's going to have his first permanent agility charge there. Shachlo, does he want to carry on chasing? I mean, Shigetsu's pretty darn low. 2 points into the axes there as well. Won't connect onto Shigetsu, so he will be able to back himself away. Salve, once again, well, it's actually going to be H2O's own salve. Well, he didn't really... I think he misused that.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's good. I think that you think right.
I'm not, open to the big brain plays of the pro players. So it could have been like a 4D chess play that I don't understand. But yeah, I think using that on yourself when you're pretty much full health, it's not not on purpose.
Let's see now if they can pressure Shachlo when he's alone. I think this is a nice opportunity for cybercats to get super aggressive.
Yeah, the dual breath does come out. The liquid fire going to be used there as well. He's even got a point into the ice path to keep him locked down. One more right click, and it's going to be another kill. Shigetsu does pick that one up. Really nice, good couple of kills here for the Slark to get him back on track in terms of net worth. And just looking towards his first item. James is going to be rotating right back up here. He's got 1 point into the Starstorm.
Squad X coming?
As well. Yeah, with squad rotation from Squad X. He's going to be on level 4 on Shigetsu. So a really nice wrap here from the Zeus. The arrow flies through. It's going to be off the mark. Close, but by his scales, the H2O doesn't get hit.
That was a perfect rotation from the Zeus because the double wave is coming into the tower and Slark is already struggling in terms of levels because the Jakiro always needed to be by his side. So that's perfect. And Zeus, he stayed here, so Squadix, he wants to crush him yet again. Shigetsu doesn't really have a lot to survive with.
H2O is going to be taking the brunt of this damage coming in through now as well. One more little bit, the arc line, and where's it going to be at? Because the ice path was down, but the right click comes through. He's just looking for the vision here. H2O is going to be juking through the trees, trying to break some ankles. It looks like they might even have the body blocks here. H2O, but the axes fly through. Whoa, will get the kill there. Close, Squadex will pick it up, and it looks like there's going to be the rotation. The Bushwhack comes out. Even going to be the Alchemist rotating in now. The Acid Spray goes down. Where's that unstable concoction going to fly to? Does he want to use it? It's not picked it up just yet. Okay, so he's not going to be throwing that out for the gank. It's pretty hard to throw it out when you don't have it. I thought you would have picked up 1 point in it, coming through with that rotation.
Actually, there for a second, I thought I even saw numbers.
I think it was the gold. I saw the same thing. That's why it was in my head. I think it was like acid spray gold or something like that. That's why I was like, oh, he must be have the unstable concoction.
Yep, either way, Igor, he doesn't get the stun off, but he still gets the kill. This Alchemist is looking really solid, and I think this is the time of the game where the Mirana needs to be in his jungle. We saw, though, that James tried to do so, and immediately Shachlo died. So now, though, he does have the Helm of the Dominator, so that changes things. That definitely does change things. James, I don't know how confident he feels, but he needs to be on top of this Alchemist. He's the only one that can be annoying to him, and he needs to use that to his advantage. Bottom lane, though, DK Focus in a lot of trouble.
He's going to be chased down. PCC does get the Arctic Burn off, so he's going to have that vision. Anything to stop the TP, though. Only level 5 onto the Winter Wyvern, so PCC not going to be able to throw out the Winter's Curse. Stop that TP. And Squadex, how do you feel about these Zeus builds? Because, you know, that Lightning Bolt could have put a mini stun on that, or top lane. We'll come back to that in a second one. As it looks like the Beastmaster is going to get locked down. Shacho, can he get himself away from this one? Starstorm will be used, and Shigetsu doesn't. He's already used that Shadow Dance, and now H2O going to be taking a lot of damage, though. The damage coming through from both Squadex as well as James secures the kill onto H2O, and Shigetsu has to run himself back behind the trees. Even the rotation coming through from Phasor, but not able to keep H2O alive.
To be honest, I'm liking what Empire are doing. They're not panicking because of the Alchemist. That is really nice. Back to your question about the Zeus, I'm a big fan of taking a point in the Lightning Bolt. I'm a big fan of it. Though, even when I see it happens on level 9. Zeus get to be really greedy. I think 2 points in Heavenly Jump is quite enough to get to 1 point in Lightning Bolt, but these mid laners, they can't be greedy. Nice invade here by James.
Oh, James, he doesn't get himself down the cliff with a leap. He's going to be caught up here, killed off by H2O. He was so close to getting himself out of danger there, but the leap, it just wasn't enough. The range on it didn't match, and he just gets caught on the cliff.
Big thing for cybercats that they are already in their jungle and protecting their alchemist. You know, he might not even be there, but you still want that part of the jungle to be protected. And also a big thing is the top tier 1 still hasn't fallen. Empire are still getting a lot of farm around the map, and Seven Jesu is gonna be able to join his team very early on. But then again, so is Shigetsu, and when it comes to a fight between the Slark and the Juggernaut, well, we know that the Slark more often than not wins. So I'm starting to be afraid for Empire because they put so much emphasis on this top lane and the tower is still barely touched. Obviously, we know with the Beastmaster you take it down really fast, but you will need a big rotation now, and that's exactly what Empire are doing. They're bringing multiple heroes. It is gonna keep the rest of the map pretty open for Igor, though.
Yeah, and look at the Juggernaut. I mean, he is going to be building for the Maelstrom. Focus is trying to do his best just to disrupt onto Jess as well. The sentry is down, but Focus, he was the epicenter that he was starting to channel. See what they did, the rotation coming through from Phasor now as well, so if they can catch him in the Bushwhack. The Courier, I don't think he got the vision there, so yeah, it looks like they might be able to set up Jesu close to a tree. He's actually going to eat it with a Clone Blade. The Burst Strike, he comes up, no! The spin is going to be there from Jesu, those Zuma fingers, and he gets the spin off. H2O's rotated in now as well. Can he get the Bushwhack off? Going to be onto the Winter Wyvern. There is going to be a Moonlight Shadow coming out though, so no gank attempt underneath the tier 1 tower for the side of Cybercats, and Jesu as well as BZZ will be able to make it back safe.
Cool play from Cybercats overall, knowing that the top lane is gonna become hard to defend. Now with them coming top with the 4 heroes, you don't want to bring the Alchemist yet, so they make an attempt on the bottom lane. But again, it's a Juggernaut. That's why I like the Empire draft, because you know, you do have a Juggernaut, and he's gonna be able to stay in this lane for a very long time. So when the top lane is taken over, Cybercats they won't have much to do. With the top lane taken, the Alchemist's map is getting smaller and smaller. Big thing for Cybercats though is that Igor has so much already that with the Radiance he'll be able to assist his team, get a bit more in terms of map control.
Yeah, you can see that it's being picked up. It's going to fly out now to Igor. Like you say, he can start to get involved where he wants to, where he needs to. Going to be going for the BKB next there as well. Meanwhile, Squadex and James rotating around in the bottom part of the map. So, I mean, this is what the Beastmaster always wants, right? He's just taking control of this top part of the jungle. No one's really contested him. He's taking some farm or some part of the jungle away from the Alchemist as well. You know, do you want cybercats to maybe group up to make... To put a little bit of pressure onto the Beastmaster, or are you happy with them pushing onto this bottom part of the map, maybe looking to put a little bit of pressure onto 7 Jessu here in the bottom lane?
Top lane, taking over of the top lane is of the utmost importance. You don't want the Beastmaster on your high ground there. You can have two of those camps, but you cannot have the upper hill. But Mirana knows this. Mirana knows that this is going to be a blink dagger timing. Is going to be the one tanking the gank.
Yeah, the burst strike does come through. What are they going to be able to do here? Because it looks like they've got the catch. They get the sharpshooter off, and Phasor claims the kill onto James. On the bottom lane, though, Shigetsu's being pushed back. Jessu holds that Omni Slash. Doesn't want to throw it up because of the Shadow Dance being there, but did still do a little bit of damage there to the Slark, enough to force him back.
Big difference between the Jugger and the Slark right now, both in terms of levels and in terms of farms. So Shigetsu can stay here, and it is that's a big handicap for the side of cybercats. Still, that is why they're gonna be playing away from the Juggernaut. That kind of answers your question. You can't deal with him, so you are gonna deal with the Beastmaster. Yeah, ideally you'd like the more of the bottom map to be open for your Alchemist, but right now it's impossible. So Igor is going for a fast BKB to enable that to happen.
Okay. And how far away is he? He's actually really close to it. He's already got himself one piece of it. Yeah, the Ogre Axe does come through. It's not going to be too far off the Mithril Hammer there as well. And obviously the Alchemist, it does ramp up, you know, the more creeps you can take there, the quicker he's going to be able to get this item. But you can see on the top lane, though, it looks like they're already looking to put pressure on. DK Focus going to try and get himself away. He's going to be able to get himself into the threes, but not away from it as the arrow flies through Focus. The Axe is now as well, and the Sand King, he's going to be cut down to size. BZZ claiming that kill.
Imagine being next to Zeus and you die to a right click of a Winter Wyvern, so 69 damage. That's kind of sad either way. It was that anyways. Who gets the kill is a little bit less important. Empire, they know we keep the Juggernaut in the bottom lane. If we take part of this map, it's gonna be great. So I think it's gonna be a big fight around this one. BCC even finds the ward, so we're looking at Igor. He needs that BKB, and he needs to help his team take control of this area. If that doesn't happen, it's gonna be tough. But we see as soon as the Sand King is coming back, Empire are expecting the smoke, so they're just gonna keep their supports in front, and they'll be the ones tanking the gank.
Yeah, and you can see, like, they are looking for the extra vision on this. Phasor as well, looking to do some D-warding, just looking for a safe place to put the wards as well. As the Juggernaut just continues to push out onto this, he's got himself then the Maelstrom up. You know, he's going to be able to push in onto this tier 1. The tier 1 not really taking too much harass, though. Shigetsu is going to be here at least underneath the tier 1 to push it back. Jessu, what's he got coming in on the courier? Going to be his Yasha. Do you want the Manta style first, or are you happy for him to go for the Shard before anything else on Jessu?
I think this is a Shard SNY game. I don't think you get a Manta in this one. Manta is pretty much food for the Alchemist. There's not many things for you to dodge. Dodging the Unstable Concoction almost impossible. So I think you need the status resistance in this game in particular for the Juggernaut if you are to survive.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I mean, now the Cybercats, they are starting to put a little bit more pressure, looking to catch out. The BKB's up for Ego now as well. 7 Jessu might show on the lane here with Shigetsu just pushing this one in with the catapult.
He knows.
Yeah, he's playing it safe. His spider senses are tingling here. Epicenter being channeled. He is going to show, though. Looks like they might try and make something happen here. He's going to be able to go. The burst strike is going to come through with the bushwhack as well. They have this catch. They have the lockdown. They have the sharpshooter. And he is firmly in their sight. 7 Jessu going to be taken down. Phasor claiming that kill.
So he knows, but he's not afraid of death, it seems like, because that was certain death if he shows. With the Mirana being so deep on the top part of the map, James was pretty much doing his job. Yo, guys, kill me. Come on, kill me. And with him not dying, that was a really clear idea for 7 Jessu what was going on. Either you call for more heroes there, or you get yourself out. There's just no other way.
Well, this time the Unstable Concoction will come out. They're going to try and make a move happen here. It's going to be Mirana. Do they have the reveal? Do they have any wards? Do they have any dust? It doesn't look like it. So the disengage will come through here. And yeah, this time James will be able to get himself out. I can't say unscathed, but a little worse for wear at best.
mid-tower.
Everyone is gonna be fine. Though I have to say, Team Empire, they were too comfortable with the status quo, and that is what Division 2 teams tend to do. Sometimes it's a problem of Tier 2 teams. You're like, okay, this is fine, just continue doing it. The thing is that the item timings are gonna start coming out, and you're not gonna be aware of it. The enemy team is gonna attempt for something else, and you're not gonna be prepared for it. The good play for Empire would be bring the Juggernaut to the Roche, or, you know, bring more heroes to the bottom lane. But now cybercats, will they manage to get to this Roche? It doesn't seem like it though.
Now the burst strike comes out, they're going to be able to catch out 6v3. Do they have enough damage to take him down though? It's going to be the Aegis going the way of the Zeus as well. The Omnislash comes out, it's going to be on to 2 with the Thunder God's Wrath. Really good combo for the kills there now as well. The backline should get to, trying to get himself out of danger here. The Shadow Dance will be wearing off, the Lightning Bolt's going to be coming through as well, so he's going to be able to bounce himself up to the high ground. The Bushwhack catches on to the Juggernaut, but Shigetsu, the chase is still here from Squad X. They are going to be able to use the Winter's Curse to get to the lockdown onto Ego now as well. He pops that BKB, the Raw comes out, going to be wasting time on this BKB, and now it's going to be Empire looking to disengage, and Ego, that Blink Dagger is up, the Unstable Concoction as well, but it doesn't look like they want to chase here. Aegis still goes the way of the Zeus. He holds on to it, will be able to get the TP back to base, and heal himself right back up.
The Empire, they had to make a mistake in the bottom lane for them to make a really cool move like this one. They could have made that move even before it, but overall, that was really perfect for them. Walk into the pit, you have really good heroes to fight around there. James, he takes one for the team, though, this time pretty unnecessarily. But overall, really nice play for them. Understanding that even after the Roche is dead, with their Winter Wyvern being engaged on, that they can go forward. And 7 Jesu now just showing up how powerful he actually is with the Shard, the Asha, and the Maelstrom. 18 minutes in, and he is actually really close to the full SNY. This Juggernaut is gonna be a beast. Really nice plays from Empire, and I'm liking that they didn't panic and just chase the Alchemist like crazy. Yes, Igor is out of control, but you dodge a few of his Blink Dagger ganks, and suddenly you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, and you can see that, you know, they saved the Raw for the BKB for the Alchemist as well, just to waste that 9 seconds. She gets to the Ice Shards do come through. He does have the Shadow Dance if he gets into danger, so he's going to be able to get himself out of this. The Pounce, the Dark Pact is going to be using. You can see the Shadow Dance does come through. Moonlight Shadow, though, if you want to try and catch out the arrow.
Random arrow.
Oh, close to Ego, but it's not going to connect, and Shigetsu does get himself out of danger, though. So yeah, I was talking about the Raw came out, saved the Alchemist once that Unstable Concoction was, the Chemical Rage into the BKB was used. It did lock him down for a majority of that BKB time and made him useless. So even though he does have that BKB, there's still answers on the side of Empire to deal with his hero and stop him from having that major run over impact that he wants to have.
For sure. Cybercats, though, they feel like they are stronger, and they are going forward with this one. The Squad X still has the Aegis. I still feel if this Zeus dies once, he's gonna be dead. He went for the Kansenge and the Ether Lens. Okay, so he doesn't want to go for the Aghanim Scepter just yet. He really wants to just be spamming spells, but BZZ caught, and without him, they can't fight on Empire.
Yeah, that's technically, I mean, he's already used his buyback there as well for that last fight to get the Winter's Curse off onto Igor. Did he want to try and engage onto this Shigetsu? He throws out the Diffusal Blade onto the Marana. It looks like Igor just wants to carry on going forward. Going to be taking a little bit of damage. The balls as well, just slowing him down. But he looks like, well, the back lines, Omnislash does come through. But it was a Depth Shroud used here from the Slug. Really good timing onto that to get it off to make sure that Phasor doesn't die to the Omnislash there as well. Really well worked. And now the Epicenter comes through. This Juggernaut not going to be able to get himself away from this. And the BKB is going to be used from Igor. The chase away. Squad X looks like he's going to be able to get the runaway. Maybe Unstable Concoction. 1 second. Does he want to channel this? He's already used that Blink Dagger. He's going to be slowed down by the Heavenly Jump now as well. The arrow won't connect onto anyone. Did he go back in? They can't go back in onto this here on the side of Empire. They just need to give up the L for this fight.
Okay, I think after this one, 7 Jesu will be using his Omnislash when he's dying only. Because now he knows there's a Shard on the Slark. This Shard is actually so stupid to play against with the Juggernaut. It's even worse if you're like an LC. Imagine you're a Legion Commander. Every single time you jump on someone, the Depth Shroud is there, and the duel breaks. No one wants to fight you, and that is kind of the point of your hero. So Juggernaut is going to be feeling quite bad. That was a good idea for him to go for, but he just didn't know that the Slark got his Shard.
James gets caught out again. The Bushwhack comes through the Unstable Concoction. Cold Embrace not going to be keeping him alive here. Do you want to try and chase it? It's going to be the Bow Strike from the backlines, and they get the lockdown. The Ice Path comes out once again. Squad X going to be able to dive himself away from this focus. Going to be taking a lot of damage. Satchel comes in as well, claims that kill with the axes, and Jesu on the low ground gets the kill onto Phasor. So okay, it's I say they took the L, but immediately they did regroup once everyone was back alive, come back into that, and then get a couple of kills going their way too.
That is the big thing for the Empire lineup. They really can always fight. There is not a single ultimate that they rely on heavily. They can always get a kill, especially with the Juggernaut spin in this kind of a game that he has had. So with them constantly pressuring the top part of the map, cybercats, you can only have so many smokes to get in there, get a kill, and then claim the high ground again. So every single time Empire go back, they're gonna be able to reclaim it. Really nice read of the map. I have to say, Empire, they came prepared. I think they that all of the Eastern European teams now kind of have the idea of how to play against the Alchemist, and this is looking really good for them.
Yeah, Alki's getting close to that AC now as well, so it's going to offer some extra protection. The rotation comes through. It's going to be a smoke that gets revealed here. The Moonlight Shadow comes out a little bit too soon. She gets to be able to use that Dark Pack to get himself away from the Hawk that did get thrown into his face. You know, the dive bombing. I think it's a Magpie in Australia that does it. Oh, a little bit of lag on the game. As the arrow, not going to connect, and Ego's going to be able to get the blink away into the TP. Yeah, nothing to stop that either. So Alchemist will be able to get himself out of danger.
There is no depth shroud, so that means that the Juggernaut Salty does something. So 7 Jesu wants to do something right now. Yeah. To be honest, cybercats, how many smokes do they have? They have it in the shop. H-Do has it. I think just smoking and killing the Juggernaut from 100 to 0 is a possibility for them. If they get a few hits on him before there's a cold embrace, with a sharpshooter you will be able to kill him. So I'm really liking what cybercats are doing right now.
I like this as well, that she gets her TPs right into Jesu's face. Jesu's just going to go for the spin away. And now, do they want to get aggressive? Now the spin's down for the next 8 seconds. There is a little window. They have to find them here on the side of cybercats, but if they can, was it 3 seconds? Okay, so it's not going to be a massive window. James, they're going to be able to get the double burst strike into the Sandstorm coming through now as well. The Bushwhack into the Winter's Curse, so this might keep him alive. No, the Sharpshooter comes through. James will go down. Spin comes through from 7 Jesu, but Focus is going to be able to clear for himself. And Jesu going to be taking a lot of damage though. Does he heal up? Does he get himself out of this? It looks like Jesu with the healing wall. He's going to go with the Omni Slash now as well. Does he have enough to take Shigetsu down? Shigetsu turning onto him after the Omni Slash wears out, so they're going to be able to take down the Juggernaut, and they might even be able to go for a little bit more as James, does he get himself away from the danger here? Ego. Well, the Spirit Vessel is to be used. Yeah, he's going to pop that BKB into the Unstable Concoction. Squadix, he's going to be right in his face now as well with the Cold Embrace. It's not going to be enough to keep him alive. The arrow's going to be off the mark now as well. But Squadix, how does he get himself away from this one? The Heavenly Jump was 1 second away. James goes down as well. And all of a sudden, cybercats, they turn this game on its head with a really nice fight though. Just well played all across the board from the side of cybercats. You know, the timing of the Depth Shroud and into the Shadow Dance. Ego holding that BKB till the very end as well. Really well played.
Yeah, that BKB holding was the thing that actually won the fight, especially so heavily. With such a great initiation, there was an even better counter initiation from the Winter Wyvern, but Empire, they got greedy. They tried to kill the Alchemist, and I think that's mistake number 1. The Jugger just doesn't take that much damage when he's in the spin. Kill the other ones, and it's gonna allow you to survive the Alchemist on his own. I think that's the main play they should be looking for, and of course, those 4 staffs are gonna be very important for now. Morana is working towards it, but if I was this Beastmaster, I'd get a 4 staff as well, even the Zeus maybe, because those items are really gonna change the game. If your Winter Wyvern wasn't in position there, the only thing that could have saved the Juggernaut at that time was the 4 staff, and Empire currently they don't have a single one.
Yeah, so let's see. I mean, Roche is going to be up in 1:20 as well. So do you think both teams now, knowing that Roche is going to be, obviously not knowing the exact clock, but knowing he's going to be close, do you think that they start to posture around this top part of the map? Is this where you want to take control, or you know, do cybercats maybe want to force something out? In fact, oh, the Beastmaster does get himself in the trees, but yeah, do cybercats maybe want to put pressure onto the bottom lane and try and force Empire away from this top half of the map? Ooh, the Bushwhack comes out, Moonlight Shadow, do they have the reveal? The Sharpshooter just come through, and now they're going to be able to get on top of the Beastmaster. The Beastmaster's not going to be able to get himself away from this. The Burrow Strike now as well, Juggernaut, but do they have enough to take down the Beastmaster first? Shatzel going to be able to use that Raw. Sand King's going to be the one that's stunned up. There's going to be the Thunder God's Wrath coming out, and it looks like Jesu going to be able to spin himself away from this. Shigetsu using his BKB. But this opens up the tier 1 tower in the top lane, so it's going to be an offlaner for an offlaner here, and a couple of ultimates from either side coming through. Ooh, this is going to be the jump in though. There's going to be Unstable Concoction. BZZ gets killed off, and now that trade comes out, the tier 1 tower goes down as well. So it's once again cybercats, they get a little bit more out of this than the Empire do, and even going to be stepping up onto this tier 2 tower with the catapult. Okay, not a creep wave, but you know, fortification not too far away from where enough.
That's BZZ not thinking about the Slark Knight vision, and that's gonna cost him. And Shigetsu is not done. He's going for more. James, He has all of the leap charges, so overall should be okay.
Yep.
The thing is, I want to play the bottom lane, just because you lost your tier 2, so that was good that Empire got it, but cybercats felt like this was their timing and they just went through with it. To be honest, Empire played that fight quite well, but BZZ, he kind of messed it up. So now it's just push out the bottom lane a little bit and Igor will immediately run back to the top. If you leave the top lane and the outpost gets taken, it's gonna be really bad for cybercats.
Yeah, and this is, you know, Roshan going to be coming back up with the shard now as well. So, again, how's the vision? The Hawk is going to be moving over. Maybe to... I don't actually think that gets the vision around the pit. No, it doesn't. Sandstorm is going to be used though. So, the list of the aggro up around this Roche and Empire. Do they want to try and come in to contest this? James? He's leading that front line. He's got himself one pass, but the bushwhack, he doesn't actually connect or anything. They are going to be able to get the kill into BZZ immediately now as well. Juggernaut, he's going to be bashed up. It looks like they're going to be able to get the double burst strike into the ice path now as well. And that's going to be really good for the side of cybercats. They claim 2. Can they make it 3? What else can they get out of this phase? Or will go down on the back line. Satchel, though, he's going to be taken down and killed off. And Fogus, he survives just barely, but enough is enough. Yeah, Squadix not going to be able to do the damage onto Fogus. As Fogus now, well, the Nimbus, it's going to be found up by Ego, and Ego with a full Abyssal Blade to start that fight off, getting right on top of the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut had no chance once the Ice Path followed up. In fact, they might even be going for more now. What else are they be able to do? And Sibylline Concoction flies out, going to be stunned up onto both of them. And James, as well as Squadix, they're going to go down. The Abyssal Blade comes out. The leap away from James. Can he get himself away from this danger? Because it looks like Shigetsu, he wants to carry on going. The Pounce comes out. One more right click. He claims the kill with the Dark Pact. And now they can go once more into the pit, once more into the breach, if this is where they want to put themselves, and it is right back towards that Aegis now for cybercats.
Impatience is what cost Empire this mid-game, possibly the entire game as well. You have the Blink on the Winter Wyvern, you have the Beastmaster and the Zeus, so perfect vision should always be on your side. And twice in a row you get caught and not able to do anything. Sure, BZZ buys back, but his carry is already dead, and without a Juggernaut you cannot finish off heroes. So, and BZZ, he will die again. This is gonna be without buyback. Okay, he gets himself out. That's good. It would be really bad if he lost his life. So cybercat, Empire, those were some really bad mistakes. Those should never ever happen.
Yeah, Jesu's going to be caught out once again, but Shigetsu only has that bash and no Abyssal Blade, so he's going to be stunned up now. Yeah, Juggernaut has a basher there as well. I was wondering what stunned him up, but yeah, so it's going to be the bashes for both carries. The Abyssal Blade for the Alchemist. But Shigetsu, it looks like he's not done hunting. I mean, Ego's just going to be able to solo push out with the Abyssal Blade coming through now with his, the Radiance as well. He just solo pushes down towards his tier 2 tower, and he's not really too scared of anything because his team are close by. So if Empire went to try and go onto him, you know, he's even got the Berserk Potion coming through as well from that shard. So it's going to be, you know, all of these adding up onto the Alchemist. And how do you take this hero down now going into this mid to late game position for Empire? What do they just have to ignore him till the end of the fight and look for the pickoffs on everyone else first?
I think that's the play. The thing is, when the high ground is being pushed and the Alchemist is right in front of you, you kind of don't have a choice. A wraparound isn't a big move for Team Empire right now. Plus, it's really hard to do. So Igor, he's just gonna go forward, and you're gonna have to deal with him.
Yeah, the Nimbus gets dropped, but Alchemist immediately takes it down now as well. The arrow will connect onto him. He's going to be taking a lot of damage, has this Aegis for the next 3 minutes and 22 seconds here. But Alchemist, he's going to pop that BKB and just walk himself away. And while this is going on, Shachlo is pushing out onto the top lane, looking to put some pressure on, but there is going to be the TP back coming through from DK Fogus, so he gets the burst strike, might even get the Ancient Ice Shaman. And yeah, have you seen the Ice Shaman? It looks like the eyes are coming out of the horns as well. It's a unique design, let's call it. For this
it just shows that Ice Frog is not only a genius, but that is also very creative. You know, you don't see many, or you don't see any animals in our kingdom that have eyes on their horns. So it is a new design for sure. Yeah, I agree with you. Definitely interesting. Kind of looks weird, but you know, interesting and weird. They can coexist. I really liked how Empire tactically played this game. I really do, Rob. The thing is, execution and positioning, they weren't great. So I'm still hoping that they can nail those things. But right now, it's not only the Alchemist that is the problem, it's the Slark. So you need to kill the Sand King, you need to kill the Hoodwink, you need to kill the Jakiro. Slark, and then the Alchemist, and that is a little bit too much. I think there was a part of the game where you could completely ignore the Slark, you just don't care about him, the AoE damage is gonna do the job, but right now that's not the case, because once Shigetsu gets the Axe, he's gonna jump in and he's gonna destroy every single one of you alone. He won't even need any help.
Yeah, like coming through the laning stage, we saw how far ahead this Juggernaut was against Shigetsu, but I like that Shigetsu realized the threat of the Juggernaut coming through, not only to him but the rest of his team, so he just immediately brought up that shard, whereas usually you might not see the shard until third, fourth item. He knew that the Omni Slash, it's a single target or your multi-hero single target damage, and if he can negate that, just stop the Omni Slash from coming through on the rest of his team, it takes away such a massive power spike, such a massive part of the Juggernaut's game. So while Empire in that, the lane stages, the mid game, they didn't really do anything wrong. I just think cybercats, they had a handle on this game. They knew where to itemize, they found the space, and they've kind of had that little bit of, like you say, the execution's just been a little bit crisper for the side of cybercats.
The thing is, at this point in the game, Empire, they don't have a play. There is not a play they can make, because the Slark can solo heroes, the Alchemist can solo heroes, the can kill a hero, so if you split up even a bit, it's gonna be a problem. Dealing with all the lanes is almost impossible, and it's only a matter of time before cybercats go forward with the Axe on the Slark. Shigetsu can do just that. Obviously they don't have to do it, but they can, and now the play is on Empire, like what are we supposed to do? And I think the only thing you're hoping for is for a big mistake from cybercats, but in this game you cannot force it. That is the thing, you cannot force out that mistake. You have to hope that they make it on their own, and that almost never happens in Dota.
Yeah, and you can see that an item I didn't expect the Juggernaut to be going for is going towards that Lincoln Sphere as well. So the defensive item coming off for 7 Jesu, I thought you would have gone for, but I suppose the threat coming through from pretty much everybody on the side of cybercats, it makes it hard for 7 Jesu. Phasor, he's going to see the TP comes out now with the spin, though. They have the back, they have the lightning bolt to cancel the TP, so they are going to be able to get the kill onto Phasor, and it was just unlucky that the Moonlight Shadow just faded a second after the TP was going out there from Phasor.
This is a chance now for Empire to do something. You need to go towards the enemies now. Get the top part of the map going. You can accomplish this by multiple ways. You can push in the bottom lane, wait for a TP, and then 3 heroes of cybercats are gonna be top, and then you can go in. But 7 Jesu is in so much trouble. He buys the Lincolns. Okay, this is a bit better, and it's gonna be a bit easier for him to survive.
Well, the Ice Path comes out. They're gonna be missing with that though as well. Do we have anything to stop this? Shigetsu, the Nimbus is gonna be used though. Jesu's gonna be able to get the TP away. I think instead of Concoction, BZZ even gonna be able to get the TP away. So yeah, they have, like you said, they've forced a couple of cybercats heroes to TP down here. Satchlo, he's just going to be able to use the Thunderhigh to re-put the pressure onto this tier 3 tower in the top lane. Fogus can, I think Fogus still has the TP, it's 5 seconds away, so eventually Fogus is going to be able to TP up to this to clear it off once again. You've got Phasor stepping up onto this as well, taking the pressure off. Though as soon as you see Phasor, should you be looking for a fight on the side of Team Empire, group up and smoke out and grab a kill while you know that cybercats aren't all together?
Before that happens, this ward can lose the game for Empire. You have a Zeus and you're allowing this to happen.
Oh, they're going to be able to catch out Jesu though. He's going to be able to get the spin away, but the Abyssal Blade comes out. They're going to be able to lock him down. He's still going to be able to spin himself out of this. The Nimbus though, going to be found at Shigetsu. He's going to be able to take it. The arrow connects onto the Alchemist, and that's going to be the Depth Shard being used here. So they might be able to get an Omni Slash play from this if they want to group up here, Empire. But Satchlo has to be really careful. The Moonlight Shadow has been used. He's getting himself into the trees. Has that gem available? The scan comes out right on top of him. So now Phasor, he's looking for it, but the nut shot's not going to be going into the right direction, and neither will that Burrow Strike, so close, but doesn't actually connect onto Satchlo. Now Jesu wants to chase on, leading the line for his team.
Give Satchlo a pause. He needs to take a breath. Definitely wasn't breathing there. If he had made a single sound, he would have died. And they just went so close to him. He knew that they were there, and the Moonlight Shadow kept him alive. That was so close to the Beastmaster dying, and he had no buyback. It would have been really bad for him to die right now, right in front of Roche. It would have given a clean one to the side of cybercats. Big deal though for Empire. They've managed in the past 5 minutes not being able to make a play, but at least not dropping any more in terms of net worth. So that is gonna mean something when it comes to a big fight that is inevitable to happen, and possibly even decide this game, especially if cybercats do win it.
Yeah, cybercats, the time in the initial Roche clock, it is going to be a 2.5 minutes additional clock though. So the big man not going to be back into his pit for quite a while yet, so they are going to move themselves, you know, looking at again hunting out for Satchelo, who just continues to push out this top lane with his balls, with whatever he can steal. Even the Nimbus going to help out a little bit here, but again the Alchemist just comes right into this to farm it up and take that away.
So let's see, cybercats, what do they want to do? Is waiting for the Roach really the only thing that they're happy with? I still think Shigetsu could be a bit more aggressive, especially they have a gem. They have a gem. They're playing with the Slark. Get rid of all division. They did get rid of all the aggressive vision, but the defensive one is still there for the side of Empire. I guess cybercats don't feel confident going in because you can throw the game if there's a big Winter's Curse waiting for you. And BCC, he got caught multiple times in this game, but I think now he's gonna be a bit more careful. So cybercats are taking their time. They still think they could be on the opponent's part of the map. They're allowing the lanes to be a little bit too deep on their side.
The Hawk Dive just still gets to me. It's such a ridiculous like looking spell to be able to use from your Hawks just to get that stun. But Shigetsu going to be seen. Hawk Dive. In fact, I don't actually think that connected. Oh, he might have been mid-pounce when it did connect. But yeah, you can see both teams here just stacking up around the Roche pit. There is going to be the Moonlight Shadow coming through here. BZZ, he has that Blink Dagger. He's looking for the catch, but no one's going to show.
BCC, stay behind.
Yeah, he's moving himself away. He's just keeping with the rest of the team. So there would be, you know, if you did get caught out by an Unstable Concoction or a Abyssal Blade or something, there'd be an Arrow to follow up or a Roar to follow up. You know, there'd be something to try and keep Winter Wyvern alive through this. And you can see now, yeah, even though the Black Dragon's going to move itself down to the bottom lane. I like this from Satchelo. Just put this pressure on. You know you want to be fighting around this top lane. You want to be just guarding this Roche pit because it's going to be up so soon. So you use whatever tools you can to put the pressure onto the bottom half of the map and maybe take this tier 2 tower.
Igor, he's going for a moon shard. He doesn't care about giving any Ag Scepters to his team. Sand King would love one. The Hoodwink would be pretty good with the Ags and the Jakiro as well. So that's gonna press.
They're still going to catch up BCZ. Can he get himself away from this when the Winter's Curse does get used? So the Nimbus comes out now as well. They're going to be able to take the kill onto H2O. They do still get the kill onto BCZ. Arrow connects. Onto DK Focus. How much further can they go? The Berserk pushing comes out to the Sand King. Sand King's going to try and get himself away, but he's not actually going to be able to get himself away from the danger. James claims that kill. And the buyback comes out immediately there from H2O. Roche is up. The Hawk's going to see it as well. Meanwhile, this Black Dragon, they take the tier 2 tower down on the bottom lane. And it looks like it's going to start to put pressure onto the tier 3 as well. Just to be here to clean up these creeps. And what do cybercats want to do with this? Do they want to try and maybe move themselves back, clear up this bottom lane, take that pressure away? Or are they just going to be playing Guardians to the Roche pit?
They have to, but they have to walk as well. You see, the Alchemist bought the Boots of Travel, so Igor, he understands that the split push is going to be real in this game that you're going to have to deal with. Without the Sand King, you can't fight, but you still want to keep control of your outpost. If Empire gets that outpost, pushes you in, plus is constantly pushing in the bottom lane, it's going to be a real positioning disadvantage for the side of cybercats. So I like that they're dealing with this slowly. You don't want to be super aggressive. Wait for your Sand King, push out the wave slowly, and then get back into position. Exactly what they did. But Empire, they're showing real patience as well, and this time around BZZ, he got a good curse off, which allowed them to come out as the victors from that fight.
Yeah, and the curse is going to be back up when he's back alive as well here. So BZZ, he can do it once again. They might be able to get something. I mean, if you can catch out the Jakiro again, that will put them at a hero disadvantage because it was a buyback there from H2O to make sure he's back into that fight, to make sure the Roche didn't go down in favor of Team Empire. So 3 seconds away, BZZ going to be able to get himself back into this game. The smoke comes out though from the 3-man on the side of cybercats. They are hunting. They are on the prowl. And what are they going to be able to find here? Shigetsu comes in. There is going to be the spin coming through from Jesu though, but immediately Shigetsu's just going to go for that pounce away. Has a Lincoln Sphere of his own, so there's that initial protection to come out as well. They can immediately just pop the Shadow Dance or go for the pounce away, or you know, whatever's going to make him feel safest. Oh, Phasor going to be doing a D-ward job. But the pounce comes out though onto the high ground, so Shigetsu is going to be able to claim that ward, and then immediately away by Shigetsu again.
If I was cybercats, I'd start to be very worried right now. The lead is starting to drop. Empire are doing such a good job at keeping the status quo, something we mentioned early on. But cybercats, they're not forcing them to make a mistake. There were so many times where the Slar could have been on the other part of the map, just forcing the enemies to make a mistake. He's very fast, he can join his team for sure, and you could be doing what Empire are doing right now with controlling more of the map, but they're just not doing it. And right now, considering that you're playing against the Beastmaster, potential Roar, you are afraid for yourself if you're gonna be split pushing. So cybercats, oh, they get an arrow. Luckily there's a Dark Pact.
Yeah, as soon as that Lincoln's popped, he got his quick fingers onto the Dark Pact button. The arrow did come in. That was a really clever play to block to break the Lincolns. But the quick fingers there from the Slark. If the arrow would have been instantaneous, but I mean the timing on that, you'd have to be some sort of, I don't know, 9K player to be able to pull that off, and something I can only dream of.
Pretty sure James has more than 9K. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay then, 90K.
Okay, 90K. 90K is... I think 9K right now. 10K in Europe is top 100, so...
Yeah.
It's 9K is like top 500, 300, I don't know, but overall not that high.
All right, okay, don't rub it in.
In terms of professional players, let's put it that way. In terms of professional players, obviously it is high, but for Dota enjoyers, but in terms of professional players, it is still on the lower end probably. Either way, the Sand King is gonna be spotted now with the smoke on the bottom lane, even though they don't reveal it. They're gonna know he's there. He's doing a solid job. The problem with the Sand King is he doesn't have the boots of travels. I think that's something that DK Focus should be looking towards as well. And now I think now is finally smoke time for the side of cybercats. They pushed out the bottom lane. They pretty much know where the enemies are, so they should be going for a smoke.
Yeah, the smoke just come out. It's going to be a 5-man smoke as well, so it is going to be a full rotation. The arrow, it was actually close to connecting there. But what are they going to be able to get from this? Because, I mean, Sachelo is away. Sachelo, does he have any way to get close? He has a TP. Going to be coming back to the tier 2, but is it going to be in time? They're going to be able to jump onto BTD once again. So they have those targets. They know where they want to lock down, and James is going to be slowed down by the Diffuser Blade. The right is coming through now as well. But the Moonlight Shadow has been used. The gem is available. He's going to be able to leap himself up to the high ground. Can they go any further onto this? Jesu, there's going to be the stun onto Shigetsu. He goes down. And the bash comes out from the Juggernaut to get the lockdown, and now they have the Winter's Curse. It's only going to be onto the Hoodwink, but Hoodwink, that's going to be able to slow him down. But the Epicenter onto the backlines, can they do this damage? Can they take down the Juggernaut? The Juggernaut, he's going to go for the Omni Slash. Even through, they are going to be able to do this damage. It looks like he's going to be able to survive a little bit longer. The spin comes out once again. DK Focus Squad is going to be able to get the kill onto H2O. The chase is on to Igor. Igor's going to go down. A 5-man wipe going the way of Empire, and now they're going to be able to go into the pit. They might even force out some buybacks. You get to Igor. It's going to be all for if they can do anything from this, from the side of Empire, but do they want to? Because the ultimates, they've all been used. So cybercats maybe finding a little bit of a time and saying, come on if you think you're brave enough. But Empire, they just want to play it safe. They want to play it smart. They don't want to give too much away here. There was already the buyback from the Winter Wyvern. Do they want to go into this further? Jesu is going to be able to get the spell. Shigetsu taking a lot of damage here, but Jesu will be out. The pounce comes out. The Lincoln Sphere, though, right on top of him. Jesu, can he get himself out of this? The Sharpshooter will be used as well. This is going to be the Jesu going down. Juggernaut does have that buyback available to him.
So, in hindsight, it's always easy, but I think without the Winter Wyvern, that Empire don't want to fight. You saw that cybercats really can't do anything, even when they do catch BZZ, he buys back and suddenly you have to mind your positioning and what you're doing. You can't really commit on heroes, thus you lose the fight. So a bit of a mistake from 7 Jesu to go in there and give a kill, but I still think Empire are in a pretty decent spot. Net worth at this point of the game doesn't really mean much. Cybercats, they don't have an advantage any longer. It was shown that the Alchemist can die. So the main thing for Empire is positioning. I think BZZ is really dropping the ball in this game, and they are still winning on the side of Empire, because BZZ, if he had better positionings on his Winter Wyvern for the entirety of the game, it would be problematic for Cybercat. So he's like, okay, I'm not feeling myself today. What am I gonna do? Buy an A on this, and that will allow me to survive.
Yeah, and I don't think you can, to be fair to BZZ, I don't think you can fully put the blame on him, because in terms of positioning, because Cybercats have been going deep. They've been ignoring other heroes to make sure they go into the Winter Wyvern first, to make sure they get this Winter's Curse away from the team fight, you know. So, yes, okay, maybe BCZ, you know, there could be a little bit of a better ward placement when they are grouping up as 5, but, you know, credit to Cybercats for recognizing the threat and getting themselves in a position to deal with it at the very start of the fight.
No, don't get me wrong, it's a forced out mistake. It's still one that you can possibly prevent. That is the thing. Top lane,
Satchel has been caught. Yeah, Moonlight. Oh, Satchel using that BKB. The Abyssal Blade, do they have the vision to stop the dust? It comes a little bit too late. If
he leaves the Slark alone.
Yeah, it does. And Jessu's going to be chasing out, but he does show the Moonlight Shadows to be broken, and Shigetsu to be able to play far enough away.
He has the Moon Shard, he's a Slark, so I think Cybercats really need to be fighting during the night time. That is the play. You have Moon Shards and you have the Slark. They caught DK Focus. This is really bad if he dies.
Yeah, if he goes down, but he's going to be popping BKB. Did have the damage to take him down. The Burrow Strike does come through, but the road's going to be through the past that BKB, and it looks like, do they have the stuns to take him down? Everybody's just being stunned up at the minute. The Ice Path comes down now as well. Jessu, the Omni Slash will be used. They're going to be able to get the kill. So that is going to be DK Focus down for the next 100.
Without him, there's no fight.
15 seconds. Yeah, and this is going to be because all 4 heroes, well, everybody on the side of Cybercats brought back apart from H2O in that last fight. So I like this now from the side of Empire. You know, they force this one out. Shigetsu's going to be coming in, but he comes into an Abyssal Blade, into an arrow. He's going to be locked down. The Dark Pack is going to be used, though, with that Shadow Dance. Is he going to be enough to keep him alive? Can he chase on further after this? He just has to pounce himself away from danger as the Nimbus comes out. But Ego was already away. The quick fingers onto the Blink Dagger. But yeah, no, I think if Empire, if they can win another fight with all these buybacks being down on the side of Cybercats, there's no reason they can't push in. Maybe take a tier 3 on the top lane, maybe even on the bottom lane there as well.
The Sand King is of the utmost importance for the Cybercats fights. He has been that way for the entirety of the game, and that continues to be the case. So with him being dead, it's going to be hard to fight. You can have 10 Aegises, you can have 10 Refresher Shards on the Slark, but you're still not going to be able to fight without that Sand King. And Empire, they're aware of this. Plus, they got an Arcane Rune on Squadex, so I don't think that the Cybercats can ever engage. Let's see if 7 Jessu feels confident enough to actually poke the high ground. Considering that the side lanes are pushed deep in, maybe that's something that Empire should be focusing on, but they should smell blood at this point.
Yeah, they are going to force us through onto the tier 3 tower. They take the tier 2 tower mid. Acid Spray will be used. Shigetsu gets himself away. The Nimbus comes out of the Winter's Curse as well for the lockdown. Do they have that rod? They don't for the next 56 seconds. Was the Abyssal Blade going to come from, though? He's going to be able to go even further onto this phase, although gets himself away with the Ian Death. And it looks like Jessu just has to back himself away. Shigetsu gets the pounce onto Winter Wyvern, so the Abyssal Blade comes out as well for that stun. It looks like they're just going to let it go. And Phasor, he gets the kill here. Arrow flies through, but it doesn't actually connect onto anyone. And Ego just has to back himself away.
Shigetsu is going in.
Oh, my game's completely lagged out. We need a radio cast. Quick, hurry, go. Never mind. Shigetsu, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, Shigetsu. Oh, you're back?
I'm back, yeah. There's just, I don't know what it was
come on,
like.
you got me excited. You got me super excited there, Rob. Oh, no, I love radio casts.
That was your time.
To be honest, if they ever make a Dota radio... yeah, I had a second. Yeah, that was your shot and you missed it, Terry. Like, yeah. I'm sorry. Cybercats, though, they did a really good job there. Playing aggressively when the Sand King was down. Shigetsu has to be really careful, but he turns around.
Yeah, once again, he's going to be able to go in with a Shadow Dance, just use the Dark Pact as well for that protection. Okay, the Unstable Concoction onto the Alchemist himself, but Shigetsu going to be going back, so he wants that extra slot. You know, he wants to free up this Ag's Scepter slot, so he is going to be buying out the Ag's Blessing to complete that one up now, and it will free up the slot to... Do you put the... I suppose it's 2 with the Aegis being reclaimed there as well. I was going to say, do you put the Power Treads back in? Or is there something else here that Slark really wants to pick up here? You know, what is going to be the next big item for this hero? Oh, top lane.
Considering that he's...
Focus, going to be chased down. The roar comes out at the start of the BKB now as well. The spin comes through from Jessu. They're going to be able to clean up the Sand King. Your Scepter going to be used for the Sand King, but do the damage. Is it going to be enough? It is going to be enough. And Jessu gets that kill once again. I mean, how long? Until a minute and a half before he gets that buyback back.
Now we're gonna see the same thing though. This time around the Slark doesn't have the Aegis, but Shigetsu would just love to go deep, force rotations towards him and get out because he's very, very hard to kill. And that is what cybercats need to do now because again, Empire are gonna go towards your base, so you need to delay until you have the Sand King once more. He doesn't have the buyback for another minute and 20 seconds, and H2O caught. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah, he gets himself, and the Nimbus does get dropped. How far is the Zeus has the refresher? So that's going to be another big item for him there, just in these fights. You know, if he can get off the double Nimbus and stop it from being farmed up, really. But yeah, double Nimbus, Thunder God's Wrath coming through, as well as everything that he puts out in terms of just the damage, because it's a spell cooldown. I mean, the Octarine Core coming out as well, so all of his spells come off cooldown pretty darn quick anyway.
For sure. So let's see, cybercats. Right now it's stay alive until we have our Sand King. I think you have to be a bit more careful on DK focus. You need to be with your team. Split pushing, space creation should come from the Slark. I would actually argue that cybercats should give the gem to the Slark. You ask what he needs. He sold his axe, given that he got the Agonist's Blessing. I would want him to carry the gem. Even though it's one slot for your carry, the Slark gets so much out of it that he would be able to play the map confidently, and you know.
Well, the Thunder God's Wrath comes out. Look at this Jesu. They want to put pressure onto the tier 3 tower. Ice Path is going to be used the Lincoln Sphere on top of the Juggernaut as well as his own. So he is going to be able to force through this tier 2 tower. Tier 3, excuse me, will go down. And it looks like Nimbus on the backline. Shigetsu's going to farm that one up. So
it's time for the Lincoln stacking. So 7 Jesu, you need to go through 2 Lincolns before you can stun him. There is absolutely no way he's not going to be able to respond with a Blade Fury. There is no way that 2 or 3 players have better coordination than he has with one of his fingers, you know. So he's always going to be fine now when he comes up the hill.
yeah, and I mean, looking at this as well, they got the Beastmasters coming through. He just continually puts pressure onto this top lane just to keep this lane pushed in. Going to be going towards an what is actually so I thought Squadix TP's in.
He wants the Octarine on the Beast.
There's going to be a smoke rotation behind though. Oh, can they catch this one out? The Lincoln Sphere. It's going to be a recharge here onto Jesu. It's going to be smoke and smoke. The smokes do break focus though. They're going to be able to get themselves on top. It's going to be the Burrow Strike away here. You'll have to use them to focus.
in good position.
Used once again. The Unstable Concoction, where can they go on this? They can't go on to anywhere because the Roar's going to come through with that Omni Slash. Do they have enough to kill off onto the Alchemist? The Alchemist, a couple more right clicks, but the Ice Path goes down. Sharpshooter on the back lines. Jesu. Do they have enough to take him down now? He's going to be running himself away from this. It looks like they want to carry on chasing, but the Winter's Curse comes out. He take down focus once again. Ego with that Unstable Concoction going to try and throw it out. Jesu, the Unstable Concoction, going to throw it out onto James. Can he get himself away from this one? Jesu, he turns right back around. She gets to be able to use that Refresher Shard and gets the Cold Embrace onto the Juggernaut. Juggernaut still trying to heal up, trying to get himself away from the danger. Nimbus does get dropped here, but it's going to be the Juggernaut that gets dropped alongside of it. BZZ on top of the cliffs. Oh, Phasor, can he get himself away from this one? Spirit Vessel, the Thunder God's Wrath will be enough. And now they see Alchemist as well. The Roar comes out. Do they have enough damage to take him down? With all 3 heroes, Shigetsu wants to come back into this. Ego, going to go for the Unstable Concoction once again. Can't throw it out. James with the Force Staff. The Lincoln Sphere is going to be broken now. But it looks like Shigetsu wants to fan mode into this. The buybacks come through from Jesu. It looks like they want to carry on going. Shigetsu, is he able to survive? He's not going to be able to. That Hawk dive for the extra stun keeps him locked down. And pause.
Yeah, it's time for us to take a long break, and for the players as well. We heard that there were some lag issues, some FPS issues, so possibly after that big of a fight, the Dota, the PCs, they are acting up, so they're and everyone is gonna need to take a breather. But overall, finally, BZZ, I did have a few bad words for him this game. I mean, or a few critiques. Let's put it that way, and he has really improved in his positioning. He understands just how important he is. If he's just not showing cybercats can't play, the only time they can really commit is when they use the when the Winter's Curse is used. And mind you, this was the Slark with the Refresher Shard. If he didn't have a Refresher Shard, the Juggernaut does not die in that fight. So Empire now, they know this, and to be honest, if they have the guts, and I'm hoping they do, they can't go forward right now.
Yeah, and again, they forced out so many buybacks on the side of Team Empire over the past couple of fights. You know, that like you say, if they go for it, you've got to look. They've got to buy back on, from themselves for the Zeus. Juggernaut just used his, but the Beastmaster, you know, everybody apart from the Juggernaut has their buyback. So even if they do lose him, it's going to be what 9 heroes up against. Well, if the Slark buys back, you know, it's going to be 9 heroes up against 5. So they do have that buyback advantage. You know, like you say, if they win that fight, there's no reason they can't go for base. They can't, you know, close this game out by just being not overly aggressive, but, you know, suitably aggressive and just trying to push cybercats on this disadvantage that they do have now with these buybacks being used.
The thing is, if you're 7 Jesser right now, it never feels too good to just go fight the enemies. You know that the Roche is going to be spawning soon, and I think you maybe wait for that and then go forward. To be honest, I'm actually surprised that Shigetsu still didn't buy back and just go back there, because if the Roche goes into the hands of the Juggernaut, you're going to lose your win condition, and Empire, they have so many win conditions. The Alchemist has no buyback, the Sand King has no buyback, no one has a buyback other than the Slark, so I'm starting to be very afraid for the side of Cybercats if they do not fight this Roche.
Yeah, and you can see the smoke's going to come through from the side of Empire. H2O trying to get himself down there with the Glimmer Cape. Moonlight is going to be used though. They're going to be able to go and charge low. What can they force out here onto the high ground? They're going to be able to get the stuns on H2O. H2O can he get himself away from this? He's going to be stunned up. He's going to be locked down. He's going to be killed off. And now the unstable concoction. I think Alchemist stunned himself up. The roar does come through. Well, what are they going to be able to do? Shigetsu does buy back into this. Focus needs to be really careful because he doesn't have that Ian disc for the next 14 seconds. They're going to be able to get the lockdown onto Zeus. Ooh, the sharpshooter will still connect through that heavenly jump. And now the Omnislash comes out of the Abyssal Blade onto Squadix. He will go down. He has that buyback, but you get the Winter's Curse coming through now as well. DK Focus going to be taking a lot of damage. He's going to go down. He's dead. 124 seconds before he's going to be back up as well. Shigetsu, they're going to try and get more from this here on the side of Empire. If they can get the Nimbus gets dropped, stuns up onto Phaser, the chase away. Shigetsu has to run himself out of the tunnel as well. Yeah, the arrow, it's not going to connect. It was just a little bit too short, but they can carry on going. Roche is up, but he looks at Jessu. He just wants to barrel down this mid lane. Maybe get himself a tier 3 tower out of this.
Oh, Zeus is being caught! Igor with the play!
Did he wrapped around, they found it, they got the kill. It's going to put Igor, he doesn't have that BKB, 47 seconds, but it's going to be one hell of a lane cut there, finding the creeps as well as a hero. So it just puts Empire on the back foot, forces them away from that tier 3. And yeah, Igor, really nice pick there.
No, he has so much gold, he doesn't know what to do with it, spends it on education, and he just gets super smart and outplays the enemies. That was a genius move. I didn't like Shigetsu didn't buy back immediately, but Igor, he saves the day.
BZZ can get himself away from the danger. The Force Staff does come through. The Sharpshooter will be there. He has that Glimmer Cape. He's going to go for the TP. Do they have the lockdown for him? They're going to be able to get right on top of him, take BZZ down. He does have that buyback available. Winter's Curse coming up in 5 seconds. But Roshan is up. Shigetsu, they need this. They absolutely do. Because if they lose this, it means that Empire, again, more lives than Cybercats. They have that safety blanket. They have the potential to push in. But Cybercats taking this away from Empire, it might just shift this game right back in the favor of Cybercats. And what can he do when this Aegis goes in the hands with the blessing coming through and that refresher shard as well? So this is going to be a massive haul going the way of Cybercats.
This is just beautiful, beautiful. You know, as I mentioned, I really didn't like Shigetsu not buying back immediately, and you saw that they came into the fight 4 versus 5. It was a 5 versus 3 scenario with you having no buybacks. The game was over. And Igor just makes a play. He makes a play with which he enabled one more kill to happen right after it, and now they have the Roche once again. Slark, I like that he's playing with the gem. I would like him to get the refresher shard though. I'm not sure why it's on the Hoodwink. I'd rather the Slark have it. Double Shadow Dance, double Depth Shroud is just way too good to ignore.
You know what I like? I like that they gave the... Oh, Jessu. I like that Jessu's going to get brave. Just jump onto Shigetsu. Doing a lot of damage here now. The Shadow Dance will come out, but he does still have that Aegis. But yeah, the Jakiro having the Aghanim's blessing coming through from that Roche. It's going to mean that the Macro Pine now, you know, it's got the extra damage coming through, the extra range, and it's going to be pure, so it will go through the spin of the Juggernaut to deal damage, full damage over to the Juggernaut if he does get caught out. Thunder God's Wrath.
Zeus pops the Aeon Discs.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get the roll until she gets it, but again, he does have that Aegis, so the Aegis gets popped. Jesu just backs himself up now. That's going to be a couple of ultimates going to be used here.
Igor is in!
They're going to be able to jump once again, but the Force Staff comes away. They're going to be able to get Squadix away from that this time, and now they've got the lockdown with the Winter's Curse. And in fact, the pounce comes in from Shigetsu that keeps the Alchemist locked down for a little bit longer. Can they go further onto this with the Abyssal Blade onto the Alchemist? So it's going to be the death of DK Focus, but it looks like Shigetsu wants to carry on going through Ice Path. Will connect now. The Roar once again on the back lines, just going to go onto the Alchemist here, and it looks like, do they have enough to take down the... Will take down the Jakira. Do they have enough to take down the Alchemist? Alchemist, the double Nimbus comes out. The damage coming through from the spin. The Abyssal Blade once again. That's going to be the death of the Alchemist. Dead for 123, but he does have that buyback. And this game, complete seesaw with the momentum going one way then the other.
Okay, so cybercats get a little bit ahead of themselves there. You could have just taken it slowly with the Slark, push a little bit, get out, push a little bit, get out, but you are getting nervous in this game, or you already got nervous like 20 minutes ago when you didn't manage to end, when you had such a big lead of 18,000 gold max in this game. It was just beautiful for them, but right now you're in such a bad spot. Igor is gonna have to make some amazing play, and I don't think that Squadix is gonna allow himself to die yet again. He has the Aeon Disc, BZZ is gonna be around him, so this is not looking promising for cybercats, but they only need to hold for 45 seconds and they'll have their full lineup back.
Yeah, but Harry, check the time. We're at 60 minutes. It's time for the big items to start coming out. The Arcanist armor comes out here on the side of Empire. I think we got the Fallen Sky there as well.
The sky will fall on the side of cybercats, and not much they can do about it.
Just trying to see who's using what. Fallen Sky's going to go the way of Shatchler. Yeah, Jesu actually sends the Arcanist armor back, it looks like. Oh no, it goes the way of James. So James does have that now. Okay. Keep an eye to see which way this is going to go.
That's big. If they do jump the Jugger, and you prevent some of that damage going his way, he survives and gets the spin off. That could give you the win. So that is an item that we don't see too often. We don't see tier 5 items too often. We don't see it doing much too often, but in this game in particular, we might not even see it. But the Juggernaut, if he survives, it could be due to that item in particular.
Well, in fact, they're going to be able to get it down to Slark. Slark can get himself away from this. The arrow, the BKB was up for the Shigetsu though, so he is going to be able to get himself right back. Nullify picked up for Shigetsu here as well.
That's a big one. That's definitely a big one. Being able to kill the Winter Wyvern, being able to kill the Zeus with the Aeon Disc. You don't care about the Force Staffs, you don't care about the Ghost Scepters. No one will be safe from this Slark any longer, and that is a really big deal for Shigetsu. Still, he needs a long, drawn-out fight. Usually against the Zeus, that doesn't happen because he just destroys everyone. So Shigetsu, it's kind of all on him. But when you look at the Slark, he doesn't really have that many items. You know, he has 38,000 net worth, but power treads and he really needs time to ramp up the stacks.
And what do you think about? I'm looking at the tier 5s now. You know, Empire, they get the Book of Shadows, so attributes. You know, the night vision is quite nice, but the do you use this at all?
The night vision?
Like just the Book of Shadows itself. You know, do you want to be using that for the untargetable?
Oh, the Book of I think you would want to have that on the Zeus, yeah, but he'd rather have the Timeless Relic. I do like the Book of Shadows, to be honest, especially in this game. If you know, you can target an ally as well, that would help for sure. I'm actually surprised that no one is getting it. I guess they put more emphasis on the Winter's Curse, and the Telescope does provide you with getting that one from a better position.
Yeah,
I guess that's gonna be the reasoning why they stay without the Book of Shadows.
I'm just watching this giant Juggernaut run around as well. Completely, you know, the free move up and down cliffs, but we are going to be seeing a smoke coming through from the side of cybercats. What can we do here? They're going to be able to go. The Unsettling Concoction comes out. The Indus is going to be there now as well, but it's going to be immediately. Yeah, the Nullifier gets used, and that's going to be the death of the Winter Wyvern. Dead for 97, but again, does have that buyback available if he needs it.
This is now the time to farm the tier 5, but Igor, he gets caught.
They're going to get this roar off. It's going to be 3 heroes. The Omni Slash gets used now as well. The Thunderhigh going to be doing some damage. The Boar's going to be doing some damage. You get this kill, 124. And now they even get focus from this as well. He's going to be able to get the Bro Strike away from danger though. So Alchemist, 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes 45 seconds to be precise, before he's going to have that buyback available. So he's dead for 112. What can the side of Empire do here? Can the Giant Juggernaut just run in and Fee-Fi Fum his way towards a tier 3 tower?
Come on, BZZ, buyback. Come on, go and end this game. You know he doesn't have a buyback, or maybe in this chaos, they're unsure. They're unsure of what's happening. Oh, Slark got an Apex. This Slark is a beast now.
Yeah, there was a Stygian Desolator that came out as well, but yeah, the Apex, given those plus 70 primary attributes, going to be really nice for the Slark. They might even be able to get themselves on top of the Juggernaut. Juggernaut get himself away. BKB going to be used here for the Lotus Sword. I think it came out a little bit too late, but the Royal's going to be used now as well. Shigetsu, does he want to go into 7 Jesu? They're going to be able to lock down into the Beastmaster. Beastmaster Nimbus gets used and cleaned up once again. Arrows fly through, don't actually connect as far as I can see to anything important. But Jesu, he wants to carry on going here. There's tier 3 towers down, so the racks are open. Do they have enough to get through this Juggernaut, this Giant's Ring, all of this health, 5,000 health, the 20, however much armor, it looks like 38 armor coming through at the minute now as well. They get this jump out, they're going to be able to get the roll into Hoodwink. Hoodwink will go down.
It's a buyback. This is getting really tense here. He has a buyback, but they still need 40 seconds for the Alchemist. You can see the Slark is constantly poking, trying to get back in, but BZZ will be in the fight as well, before the Alchemist as well.
Yeah, look at this. Jesu, he just does so much damage to Shigetsu, just from standing right on top of him here. And it looks like the Juggernaut, he's leading this line. He wants to be taking this base. He wants to be breaking the second set of racks here. Focus, has to be careful. Pops the BKB. The arrow's going to connect on Hero now as well. And it looks like Jesu, he wants to carry on going in. 1 right click, 2 right click, the spin comes out. He gets the kill, and that's going to force the buyback out from H2O.
Man, he has a mask and he is literally saying, somebody stop me. It kind of reminds me of someone. But either way, they do get 2 lanes of rags. The Roche will be spawning in a minute. So it's cybercats play. You have to get out of your base. And there's just so many buybacks on the side of Team Empire. I think Empire have done it. But I've thought that for so many times in this game for both sides. And in the end, it didn't go that way. So I'm really curious to see if cybercats can get this one back yet again.
Oh. Disappointment there from Shigetsu. I saw him, you know, he had the Demon Edge in his quick buy. He was running towards the secret shop. He had an item coming in on his courier, and it's a Monkey King bar.
I guess it gives you more damage against the Juggernaut's Butterfly. He really can't touch him. This Apex isn't giving him enough when you're not getting any hits in. But now the Slark finally, we can say he's 6 slotted because I really like the gem. I think he should be carrying the gem. The problem is he, with having the Aghanim Scepter, it means that you pretty much cannot hit the pounce to get on top of a hill. So that Obs, he just went right next to it and he couldn't deward it. I guess he could have used the Gem of True Sight though. And Cybercats,
can I just say,
they have to get out of the base.
This Sand King with the Giant's Ring looks ridiculous. It's got no burn on the game, absolutely no burn on the game whatsoever, but it just looks, you know, it just looks silly.
I mean, scary.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
You know, the scorpions, people are afraid of them, and then you see a giant one. You know, the normal one is already pretty big and scary, but this one, it's gonna be really scary. So now the Aegis Cheese Refresher and the Ags will be going into the side of Empire. Who gets the Ags? I'd give it to the Winter Wyvern just for the extra movement speed, to be honest. BZZ's positioning is pretty important in this game. Or did they give it to the Jug?
I think they did give it to the Jug. Speaking about the Jug, he's going to be able to get the jump. Yeah, he did take that Aghanim Scepter though as well. The Aghanim Blessing coming through. The gem is going to be on the deck here for the side of Cybercats. Do they have enough damage to take down Alchemist once again? Alchemist, he's still not going to have the gold for the buyback. Igor, he gets a refresher off. He's going to be able to go for another BKB. Does he get himself out of this danger? It's like they are going to be able to get Focus back into this fight as well. And the dive comes out. Jesu though is going to be able to go through the Omni Slash. Takes down H2O. Where can he go further onto this now as well? Focus, the arrows, the Nimbus, it will connect to Focus. That's going to be the death of the Sand King once again. The double kill killing spree comes out for Squadix, and this time buybacks aren't available for the side of Cybercats. This is going to be game number 1 at 68 minutes and 7 seconds. 35k net worth lead and 41 to 33 in terms of kills, going the way of Team Empire. It was a long one, and I don't think either of us expected this to happen here in this game number 1.
Yeah, usually when I see an alchemist on a team that I think is stronger, I do think that the team is gonna win. So that is why I thought cybercats are gonna have this one in the bag. To be honest, I think they did, but they were a little bit afraid to push the advantage. I don't think they were actually aware how far ahead they were and how powerful they actually were. In that last fight though, Shigetsu, he buys the MKB and he doesn't have it for a buyback. So 68 minutes in, you don't have a buyback on your Slark, and that is a big issue. But I think it wouldn't have changed much. Team Empire just got way too strong. They were holding the net worth lead. You're up against the Alchemist, and this Juggernaut was too strong. I actually assumed he already had the Axe Blessing, considering how farmed 7 Jesu was, but in the end, yeah, I guess he was the better target for it than BZZ. I'd say, Rob, a really good game, back and forth. A few mistakes from both sides. From the side of Team Empire, I guess it was positioning that was the problem, but as soon as BZZ got his head in the game, it was really nice for them. And cybercats, I think at the mid game, not understanding how powerful they are, and just not using their timings. That is something that is most often gonna be more often than not gonna be punished. And Team Empire, they do just that, and they get game number 1.
Yeah, so we are going to be taking a quick 10 to 15 minute break, guys, while we wait for game number 2. I need a breather. I think you might need a breather. The other players are going to need a breather after that. And so it's going to give us a little bit of time to go get ourselves something to eat, something to drink, and get back for the second game of cybercats versus Team Empire. And again, both teams really needing this win. So cybercats going to be pushing hard in this second game. Empire as well. They want to keep this momentum up. They want to be moving through, and they want to win this to keep themselves in with a chance of staying in Division 2. So again, guys, a quick 10-15 minute break, and we'll be back with the second game right after this.